Hey everyone, this is Kim Reineke again. I have Parkinson's and essential tremors, and this is an update for my vlog. Um, I've been doing this since late 2019, I believe. Um, I was not diagnosed. I was diagnosed with essential tremors in early 2019. It was February of 2019, and then was diagnosed with Parkinson's in March of 2019, March or April. Excuse me, it was April 2019 or 2020. Excuse me. Too many years have just, you know, things have just run together, especially with either of these diseases. There's several symptoms, and everybody is affected differently for either disease. The main outward symptoms are going to be tremoring, having a shuffle in your gait, things like that, whether it's for the essential tremors or for the Parkinson's. Mine started out with the tremors. Started off on my dominant side, which is my left arm, my left hand, my left arm, my head, and my neck. Then it quickly progressed into my entire body to the point where I was in a walker for quite a while, for over a year. Started off with a cane, went to a walker, and had several other medical issues to go along with that. I have what's called arthropathy of the facet joints from the cervical part of my spine all the way down to the lumbar part of my spine. I have two bulging discs, one in the cervical part of my spine and one in the lumbar part of my spine. So the arthropathy of the facet joints is basically arthritis in your nerves of your facets. So your facets are the blocks, and then in between the facets you have your discs going down your spine. Okay, your spine comes down from your brain, carries all your nerves, and it goes out through your facets, all the nerves to the different parts of your body, so that you can control those parts of your body. So when it comes to Parkinson's, your dopamine is what's being depleted in your brain. So that is the largest portion of your brain that gets affected by that. With essential tremors, the part that gets affected is your thalamus, and that is a smaller inner part of your brain. But it affects your entire body, just like Parkinson's does. The symptoms that people don't see are the depression, the anxiety, the stress. The depression is, I think, probably the worst of it. That is what I went through, the worst part of it. Watching my videos, you go back and you see me, my whole body's going crazy, tremoring like crazy, and I could barely do anything. It would take me over an hour to try to feed my dogs. And that would be the biggest thing that I would do for the day, because I could not physically do anything else. That would exhaust me alone. Taking a shower, that would exhaust me. So that was down to once a week. So, as I said, there's different symptoms, and as you progress, you get more rigidity, more stiffness in your body, which currently, even though my tremors are for the most part under control, And the majority of my symptoms, again, with Parkinson's and essential tremors, another symptom is memory loss and cognitive issues, hallucinations, things like that. So with me, I still have memory loss, and I always will. That's going to progress in time, and it's going to get worse. There are things that you can do, memory games, things like that, that can help keep your brain going longer. Just like exercise. If you can control your tremors, if you can find a good physical therapist that can show you some exercises you can do while you're sitting, that also will help with your balance, your gait, your stiffness, your rigidity. I wake up every morning, my legs from my knees on down to my feet are just so painful when I get out of bed. But the first thing I have to do is start walking. And that helps work out that pain. The same thing happens in your shoulders, your back, your neck. You get that stiffness. Once I sit down for 20 minutes, I get stiff. That's part of the disease, unfortunately. There's so many people that suffer in silence. They don't know where to turn to. They don't have a family or a friends, a support that they can rely on, which I don't know how anybody could go through that, because I'm lucky enough that I have my family who, although sometimes it was pure hell, and when I say pure hell, I mean it was pure hell. We didn't agree on things. Although I'm a grown woman, I do live in my mother's home. I can't currently live by myself. I don't know if I'm really ever going to be able to. Hopefully I can, if I continue to improve and continue to do the exercises and take advantage of the different programs that are out there, the physical therapists and things like that. There's a couple of things you need to remember is if you have Parkinson's, even if you have essential tremors, find out if there's any local support groups. That's going to help tremendously. Just knowing that there's someone, you may not be able to see them, especially right now during COVID. And if you were like me prior to COVID, you were locked in the house because you couldn't even get out of bed. I was like that for a year and a half before even COVID hit. So when that happens, your depression just takes you down the deepest, darkest hole in the whole world. Just knowing that you have someone to talk to, even if they're across town, and you never get to see them, just being able to talk to them and know that there's someone else out there that feels like you. That is a huge thing. And as I said, getting into a good physical therapist that is certified in the Parkinson's program called Big and Loud, which I was very lucky. I live in a rural coastal town in North Carolina and never thought there would be a support group here for Parkinson's or even a physical therapist that was certified in the Big and Loud program, or the fact that we have a Rock Steady program here and the huge support group that we have here. So I found a physical therapist that specializes in Big and Loud. He comes to my home twice a week. It's like sitting down talking to my doctor, my therapist, and my physical therapist all at the same time. And he has been wonderful. That has really turned my life around. I actually was in the hospital July 4th. I was admitted for bilateral PE and several DVTs in my legs, which pretty much meant that I had blood clots full in my body and in my lungs, which was the worst part. They keep talking about how President Trump, his oxygen levels keep going below 94%. Mine were in the 80s. Mine dropped down to 80%. I almost died. I came an hour from dying. So, there are other things that happen because of our conditions, our diseases. It makes us more prone to other things that can happen to our body that can kill us. It's not the Parkinson's that kills us. It's not the essential tremors that kills us. It's the complications from it. So that was a complication. I came out of that surprisingly. That's when my brother found the support group. So after I had been released, I was in the hospital for about a week and I was released. And so for about a month and a half, I had home health, physical therapists, occupational therapists, nurses, all of that come in. And then I got in touch with the support group that my brother had found. And I believe I had started with my physical therapist, Josh. It was either the end of August or beginning of September. And once that happened, everything changed. My diet changed. My outlook on life changed. Also, I have, because of the arthritis that I have in my back, that is the biggest trigger for my symptoms. So that was being treated during that time as well. And so I had 2 facet blocks done where they go in, they inject with steroids into the 3 places where my facets were the worst. The arthritis was the worst. And October 1st, which was just last week, I actually had the facet burn done where they go in and they burn the nerves, the ends of the nerves, so that you have a longer period of time without having any pain. So when I first got out of the hospital, my Parkinson's was in full blown and my essential tremors were in full blown mode. My body was just going crazy. So at the beginning of August was when I had my second facet block. And that it took a few days, but that finally helped calm things down. My back pain had dissipated quite a bit. And then I started working with Josh. So again, there's so many different things. Stress can trigger it. Last week, I had a little inner ear thing that happened for like 48 hours. And it caused me to just all of a sudden start vomiting. And as soon as that happened, my tremors came back. Thank God it was only a 48-hour thing. And my doctor said, you'll feel better in a couple of days. And he was right. Thank God. My tremors stopped and I was back to, feeling good and doing physical therapy. And then I went in for my facet burn and good to go. So, sorry, that was so quick. But I want to show you where I am right now. This is what I do every day. I get up. As I told you, I think I mentioned I walk without a cane, without a walker now at this point. Hopefully it'll stay this way for a while. I get up in the mornings, and when I let my dogs out, I put my tennis shoes on. I walk the perimeter of my yard a couple of times. I come in, I feed my dogs, and then I do my exercises that my physical therapist gave me to do. So as you can see, I went from walking with a tremor, a severe tremor, with either a cane or a walker for the longest time. And now, as you can see, I can lift my arms, hold them out, no tremors. My balance is still a little iffy. If I try to stand on one foot, we're working on that. I am still waiting for disability to kick in. We've had to appeal once, and hopefully we won't have to appeal again. But that is something. I am a real estate agent, or at least I am a real estate agent, and I have been for 5 years now. It's going on almost 6. I love my work and I love my job, but I had to stop working pretty much. I didn't file for disability until November 2019, but my last transaction was September of 2019. So that's another thing that is very, very hard and very tricky, even though we have a what's called considered a true disability. It is very, very hard to for a lot of people to get approved for disability. So I highly recommend hiring a disability attorney. They don't get paid until you get paid. Do not ever, once you file for disability, don't ever stop. If you get denied, appeal it. Don't just stop and then refile, because you will not be able to retroact all of that time. As long as you keep appealing, you will get paid retroactively from the first time that you ever filed for disability. So please remember that for those of you that are trying to decide whether I should or shouldn't file for disability. Also, another thing you need to consider when it comes to disability, and for me, this is the biggest thing. When I have my flare-ups, and I don't know when they're going to happen, like all of us, because they can be triggered by stress, injury to your body, anxiety, the smallest little things. You don't know how long you're going to be down. It's not fair. If I would go out and try to find a part-time job somewhere, sitting in a desk doing administrative work, and then I go into a full-on flare-up, and I'm out for months at a time, that's not fair to my employer. And they're not going to keep me on. So I can't even go there. I'm trying to figure out some way to continue to work in the real estate world without having to do the physical work, which I do love. But doing the physical aspect of it, if I start a transaction with a client and if I have a flare up, who's going to take over for me? Nobody, because I'm an independent contractor. So I don't want to do that to my clients. That's not fair to them. But I am trying to find a way to stay in real estate and try to help people find their homes, because that's one of the things that I love. I love helping people. Another reason why I do this vlog. It's cathartic for me, but I also want the others out there like me that have suffered going through trying to find a movement disorder specialist, trying to find somebody to listen to me, to get me the correct diagnosis, to get me the correct medications, all of that, the correct tests, all of it. That's why I do this, because I want you guys to see and want you guys to know that you can have a life. When you're in that dark hole, that's all you want to do is die. You never want to wake up. I went to bed every single night praying that God would not let me wake up the next day. And I know it's going to happen again, but I'm going to try my damnedest to not let it. So you're going to have good days. And when you do, take advantage of them. So again, what I always say, please share this. Share this with as many people as you can think of, so that we can spread the awareness of both these diseases, these horrendous diseases that take down our bodies. Essential tremors and Parkinson's. Just keep sharing it. And I so appreciate the subscriptions. I've had 53, 54 subscribers, which I never imagined. And I never imagined as many views as I've gotten on these videos. And I'm glad. I'm so happy to see that, because I want people to see what we have to live through, what we have lived through, and let you know that you're not the only one. And I hope that I'm able to help at least one person by doing this. So again, like it if you want to, share it. That's my biggest thing. And subscribe if you want to. I don't ever edit these. You get the full Monty with me. So I'm getting better at not saying as much anymore. But you are more than welcome to comment, ask me questions. There's an I am on Facebook. If you would like to look me up on Facebook, you are more than welcome to do that. Send me a message through Facebook. I post these on the Essential Tremor and the Parkinson's Facebook support groups that I found. So I want this to help somebody, and I hope it's you. And thank you, everyone, so much. And I will do another update. And again, if I have another flare up, my flare up last week only lasted like an hour and a half, something like that, 2 hours. I didn't even think. I was vomiting so much. I didn't even think about filming the flare up, but I do promise my next flare up, I will film that one. So I said that last time. So I wanted to make sure that you guys saw that not every day is, wonderful and peachy, and it's day by day. This is how you have to live your life when you have either one of these diseases or both. This is how we have to do it. We live day to day. And I thank God for today. And I hope you do too. Or at least one day you can say that. Okay. Thank you again, guys. And I will see you again soon. I'll give you another update, probably in another 2 or 3 weeks. I don't go back to the doctor again until November. Oh, I saw my neurologist at the end of September. Yeah, I have to look at my calendar. She gave me a great. She was very pleased with all of this. And she's very. She said, "Yes, the stiffness and the rigidity in my legs and my neck and shoulders. That's Parkinson's related, and as long as I keep moving, that'll start, dissipating and not getting as bad. So hopefully, fingers crossed." But yes, thank you again. And I will see you guys soon. Okay. Thanks.